Oh shit. We got a goddamn new track university
Using money and
video.
influence to
You
avoid
better,
legal
you better do your homework on this nigga. Yeah, he be doing his homework. He know what he talking about.
consequences. Not exactly a new concept, and sometimes this takes the form of diplomatic immunity, which is a pretty crazy concept, but it does exist.
Now, if y'all see me looking down, it's because I'm rolling up.
There are people walking around that do not have to face legal consequences.
Tell you what we can do. I'm gonna pay, you gonna pay. No, I'm not gonna pay. You don't know who you're talking to. Just the bottom line. I'm not gonna get no, I have diplomatic immunity. You can get on your own. You know why I find a lot of cops like you dead? Because you're going to people in the wrong way. I can make everybody call right now, and I'll be the only man standing right here right now.
Plenty of diplomats have gotten away with serious crimes, but when the son of an Israeli diplomat
Did that nigga just threaten a cop? That's definitely threats to a cop.
who hit a cop on purpose with a motorcycle got community service, I started to suspect that even though this kid didn't have diplomatic immunity, his father's immunity also kind of applied to him. Russian diplomats owe more than $100,000 in New York City parking tickets, and that only made the news to cover up the fact that diplomats from multiple countries have racked up over $16 million in parking tickets just in New York City because they just couldn't be bothered to pay.
No comments.
You're parked in a firefighter's spot. Should you be there?
I'm not sure whether you're allowed to answer to ask me this question.
She parked the car illegally, then walked right by another diplomatic car. You guessed it, parked on the sidewalk.
But is $1 billion enough to get away with crime as far as money? Well, it doesn't seem like it. Billionaires actually go to prison all the time. It's usually only the people worth $1 to $10 billion. Once you get up to $50 billion and over, it seems like the law becomes more.
Bro, cause nigga, when you that rich, niggas look at you like, yeah, we can't fuck with this nigga 'cause we don't know what the fuck he might do to us. Like, shit, he could stop our food source. He, like, bro, he's not gonna stop the grocery store from selling food to you. What the fuck he's gonna do? Kill you, my nigga? Just make sure you record everything going forward, my nigga. Like, have everybody, like, see, that's another thing. They might have niggas in place and get you chopped up type shit. That, I guess that's another reason to be scared, but I kind of contradicted myself right now, but hey, I don't know. Because if you had beef with Elon Musk, it's different from having beef with Elon Musk than a nigga in the hood. Elon Musk got bread. Like, he got the resources. He can make niggas do shit they would never do for the nigga in the hood. Like, just off the strength. Like, you don't even gotta give him shit. Like, niggas in the hood fight over, like, sections and shit. Street corners. Blocks. This nigga Elon will buy the block. What the fuck? Destroy it, my nigga. Like, we can't fuck with this nigga, I guess. Yeah, niggas, but it's not fair that they got their own set of laws, though. That ain't even right.
Of a suggestion, and a good example is if you compare Sam Bankman-Fried's case and that of Changpeng Zhao, a man accused by the US government of pretty much the exact same crime. They both created crypto companies and committed $1 billion fraud. Sam even accused this guy of stealing over $1 billion from him. But as far as punishment, Zhao was sentenced to 4 months, and he was even granted a presidential pardon. Meanwhile, Sam Bankman-Fried got 25 years. But maybe that's because Sam only had a measly $11 billion, which the feds froze anyway. But since Zhao is worth over $80 billion, the $1 million he spent to lobby for a pardon was nothing to him. Walmart heiress Alice Walton has been in several driving-related incidents that for a normal person would have probably resulted in criminal charges, but for her, she seemingly just got off scot-free. Once in 1998, which is her most famous arrest because she told the cop, quote, "I'm Alice Walton, bitch," after she hit a gas meter. And then in 2011, she was caught driving drunk again, but not charged. Just like she wasn't charged or even arrested for hitting a woman with her Porsche in the 80s. But again, Walmart. She is literally the richest woman alive. So even though a guy like Diddy is a billionaire, it doesn't seem like he had enough money. $1 billion might spare you from the most serious charges, but 20 and up, like I said, it gets scary. And let's get to the scary part really briefly. An heir to the DuPont family and another heir of the S.C. Johnson family were both accused and found guilty of sex crimes. One guy against his biological daughter and the other guy against his stepdaughter.
Hi, is this Mr. Johnson? Yeah.
Colleen Henry from Channel 12. How are you?
I am not interested in talking, sorry.
Johnson spent the afternoon at home at his gated Racine estate, free on a $500,000 bail.
In 2014, the SCJ
My nigga, when you got that much money, what, bro, you just finna go on your property, my nigga, kick back and do your favorite things and live your life. Like, you niggas probably sold their soul for all that bread. They don't even give a fuck. My nigga, like, take it up with the afterlife, my nigga. They're not worried about this life no more. Like, fuck.
Johnson guy got a 4-month sentence with work release after 60 days, and reportedly he didn't even have to register as an offender. In 2009, the DuPont heir was told by the judge that he would not fare well in prison. And so, as a result, he didn't have to go. I looked all over to make sure this wasn't just a quote taken out of context. Surely, this wasn't a real decision made by a real judge, especially not a judge that continued to serve until 2025. But yeah, this was a real quote. The judge even started to receive threats as a result of this and had to be provided security by the state. And bizarrely, Joe Biden's eldest son, who is now deceased, was serving as the attorney general at the time, and he defended the plea bargain, stating that the case wasn't strong and they probably would have lost the trial. Surely, if it was a weak case, this billionaire's lawyer would have told him to take it to trial rather than agree to be on the sex offender registry. So yeah, he got no prison time, and in case you were wondering, there may be a coincidence with the fact that his family also had the oldest money. The DuPont family was already rich before the United States was even a country. His ancestor defended the King of France from a mob in the streets of Paris over 200 years ago, and yeah, scary old money. Influence can have the same effect as $80 billion. But family ties with the president, that's a good one too. Donald Trump pardoned his son-in-law's father, and Joe Biden pardoned his son and siblings. But counting an actual head of state isn't really fair, since the head of state in most countries have some type of immunity. Like Donald Trump being found guilty of multiple felonies at once and having to face seemingly zero consequences. And also like how some people think that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia should face some kind of justice for his alleged role in some, let's just call them heinous crimes. But yeah, right, he just pledged $1 trillion to the US government, so he ain't facing nothing but the person sitting across from him in the United States.
You're saying to me now that the 600 billion will be 1 trillion.
Definitely. And yeah, Andrew lost his royal title for being the easiest guy to throw under the Epstein bus because this guy grew up as a prince, so he's likely never even considered the possibility of being charged as a criminal, so he was probably the sloppiest guy on the flight logs. But this was still a punishment, I guess, and being punished to move into the 20,000-acre Sandringham estate. What a horrible punishment, to move to an estate bigger than the Vatican City. Now, officially, he'll just be in a house on the estate and not in the main castle, I guess. Some people in the UK can't even afford the light bill. But what's the craziest bail amount you've ever heard? It wasn't the highest one ever set, but in 2018, a woman was released on a $100 million bail. Claire is an heiress of the Seagram liquor family, and she was part of a sex trafficking cult that featured many actresses, wealthy old men, and even a Serbian man. Sometimes I feel like I run across shit that nobody else was supposed to know, but it even featured a Serbian noblewoman. Royalty, actually, is what she is.
Bro, my question is, why niggas don't be doing documentaries on this? Like, niggas this is actually interesting. Like, I'd rather know about this than Diddy. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Let's expose some real shit. Not shit we already know. Let's expose some shit that get covered up.
This woman, who is related to the British, Greek, and Danish royal families, was groomed to be a concubine for the cult's leader, Keith Raniere. Her great-grandmother is a cousin of King Charles's father. Now, Keith was sentenced to 120 years, but Claire, despite being a leader and financially backing the cult along with her sister, served 4 years and was released in 2024. Her sister, who also funded the cult, was never even charged. But despite paying for the sex trafficking cult, she and her sister were also considered to be victims of the group at the same time, so that might explain the leniency, along with her family's immense wealth. Now, moving on, I want to briefly talk about the children of people with sovereign immunity. So, sovereign immunity is the law that says you're the president, so you are immune to prosecution in your own courts. And since I'm going to bring up Benjamin Netanyahu's son, I'll use Benjamin as an example of other countries imposing criminal charges on the head of state. So, the Israeli Prime Minister became the first head of state backed by the West to ever have an international warrant. So technically, this means that every country in green is supposed to arrest him if he ever sets foot in it. And to be clear, I don't have a problem with the average Israeli citizen. If you love war and racism, I don't really view you any differently than some lunatic in rural Texas that hates hearing Spanish despite living in a state that used to be part of Mexico. In Israel, it would be silly for me to blame everyone for the actions of the government. For comparison, I was in like 2nd grade when we invaded Iraq. I didn't approve of that, nor did the United States government consult me or my parents before they went in. Israel's government is essentially probably similar to what would happen if the United States was a Middle Eastern country instead of being in its own sphere of the planet. That being said, the Prime Minister's son used a state-funded security guard and driver to take him and his friends to a strip club. Now, is this illegal? No, I don't think. Is it a waste of taxpayer money? For sure. But when he tried to guilt trip his rich friend into giving him 400 shekels, which is about $125 US, he mentioned that his father had gotten his friend's father a $20 billion gas deal. He also said he paid a prostitute and even offered his girlfriend as payment since he, quote, had to fix her up with everyone because he was paying off debts. Now that sounds like nepotism, prostitution, and sex trafficking. I'm not sure about the legality of offering your girlfriend to pay off debts. His friend and bodyguard also called him a dumbass, so that's pretty funny. But as a citizen, he was required to join the IDF. But he went AWOL to go have dinner and was sentenced to 21 days. But after saying he was sorry, the sentence was cut short and he was released early. So at the very least, I guess this would just be a misuse of government funds, but people get away with that all the time. While lower level politicians all over the world get accused and punished for misusing public funds, the higher up the ladder you go, the less likely you are to face consequences, it seems.
Did you take the money? At one stage you had $40,000 cash sitting in front of you. Did you take it?
Absolutely, yes.
But that was a brief rundown on how people with enough money and influence get away with crime on a daily basis right in front of us. But thank you guys for watching as always. We're on the road to 200K subscribers. I appreciate you guys always liking and